are now plugged into Hooked on Science with Bruce and Tony Khan.
And we're live.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Hooked on Sonics. I am one of your two hosts, Bruce, and over there, uh, being as cool as a cucumber, the Tone Capone. And this week we have a really cool episode for you guys. We are going to review Joey Ramone's "Don't Worry About Me" album, and Doom Guru's "Early Moods: A Sinner's Past." Little bit of kind of breaking news here in the last couple days that we'll talk about, and whatever else we get into. So before we get into all that, Tony, I've gotten tons of calls by all of our listeners, and they want to know, how are you?
Good evening. I am pretty damn good. I pre-ordered an album I'm going to talk about here in the news here in a bit.
Mhm.
So I was very happy to see that was coming. I'm starting to start making plans for shows I want to see coming up. I've kind of been avoiding going out and everything and been dealing with being fucking sick and shit and everybody around me being sick, and I just got over that illness. So I'm really just trying to be safe.
Yeah.
Other than that, man, just chilling and whatnot. Got to The wife worked from home today, and I just kind of did some things around the house and just been chilling, man. How
Sweet,
about you?
man. Yeah. As you know, I made a quick little trip up to Ohio. Um, got to see one of my favorite people and one of my other favorite record stores there in Columbus. Got to visit some used kids records, say hi to mom, and hang out with you, and yeah, we had a blast.
If you're a fan of us here in Columbus and you watch the show here in Columbus, Used Kids Records does have some stickers of our podcast. They may even have some of the business cards as well. We dropped some off to them. They actually stuck one on the counter behind the, right there off to the side of the counter there. We thought that was
Mhm.
pretty cool. While we were out there, we picked up a couple albums. We're going to discuss those here in a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, love going out to that store. Was really surprised at some of the things I found there, especially in the main genre of music that I enjoy, which is obviously doom, stoner doom, and punk and shit like that. Wonderful store, always been a wonderful store. I remember the old location when they used to have the upstairs and the downstairs.
The annex, yeah.
Yeah, so been going to those guys for a lot of years. Been going to Magnolias for a lot of years. I still love Magnolias, man. I'm just not in and out of there as often because I think in recent years there's been a lot of construction in that area, and it's just been a real pain in the ass to get in and out of.
Yeah.
So, but still love my people over at Magnolia's. Wonderful business. It's been around for years. And I can remember when Magnolia's was further up on campus. Do you remember that? They were
Yeah.
close. They were
Yeah.
closer to the Newport Music Hall
You're
because I can
right.
remember waiting on a ride uh, at the Newport Music Hall, and we walked across the street, just kind of catty corner, and Magnolia's was right there. And I was just kind of staring at through the window and shit when as a kid.
Hmm.
So yeah, I miss them. I miss it. So let me ask you this, man. I know
Yeah.
you're not. I know you're not in Columbus anymore. For time changes everything and everything that
Hmm.
we've ever seen. If you could bring back one record store in the Columbus area, just one, which one
Hmm.
would it be?
Bring it back like it's
Yes.
no longer there.
No. Well, I mean, like one that's disappeared and you'd love to have back.
Yeah. Goldmine Records.
Where was that at?
It was on the corner of High and Patterson, and it was an old man and his dog, and he had some of the coolest shit in there. Um, he was super friendly, but he wasn't super talkative. And I just remember being a kid and really starting to figure out what my music was, and just going through his store and just picking
You
out
said the
this
high
and
high in Patterson. Where's that at? North side of campus?
North side of campus, and it is right by where that UDF is.
On the north side of campus.
Yeah, it's before Hudson.
Okay, so that sounds like what eventually turned into the House of Music.
No, House of Music was a little further south. House of
Okay.
Music was great too.
Oh, dude, back in the day when campus was campus, oh, dude, there was such a plethora of great music stores.
House of Music and Magnolia Thunder Pussy both had the coolest bootleg shit you could find. I
Yeah.
can't tell you how much bootleg Kiss stuff that I got as a kid back then from both those places.
There was a place that was near the tattoo shop that was up there that was kind of a you had to go up a flight of steps and turn around and end up on a level. And I can't remember
Yep,
what the name of that store was too, but that store was really cool too. I picked up that's where
yep.
I ended up picking up Sam Haines my Sam Hain albums.
Hmm.
I had a hard time finding back in the day.
Yep.
And then if I could bring back one, it'd be Buzzard's Nest, man.
Yeah, yeah. I don't remember ever going into Buzzard's Nest.
Dude, you got to think about when Westland Mall still existed.
Hmm.
We had Buzzard's Nest across the street.
Hmm.
You had Coconuts
Yep. In Consumer Square.
and Consumer Square. You had um, Camelot
Oh yeah.
over there in the blue shopping center area across
Yep.
from Buzzard's Nest.
Yep.
Then inside the mall, you had Record Town.
Yeah, I forgot about Record down there.
Yep.
And then of course, later on we had Media Play.
And later on, we would have Media Play.
Yep.
I think Buzzard's Nest would be gone by the time Media Play was a thing.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, I mean the physical format of music and media was a big business and it was everywhere. It was fucking everywhere. Now it's not easy to if it ain't I mean you could practically get everything online. You don't get the experience of going to the store a lot of times, looking and feeling and touching the physical item. And it's buy sight unseen or just seen through some pictures online. It's just like the buying experience has become so informal. You know what I mean?
There used to be, you would feel a connection. You would just be, you wouldn't even be looking for an album, and you would just come across it, and it just drew you to it. And you
Yeah.
found so much cool shit from just an interesting cover.
Well, thinking about like we talked about, I sent you that picture of City Center from back in the day.
Hmm.
What was the record store or music store that was right in the doorway there, right through the
Um,
front door? What was that?
I want to say it was Camelot. I want to say it was a Camelot, and I remember, um, my mom worked right next to that building or to City Center, and I had her special order Kiss Hot in the Shade on tape
Yep, I
because
had it.
you could not find it. Like, no one gave a shit about Kiss, so they certainly weren't gonna carry Hot in the Shade. So
I never had that problem. Why didn't you find it on the west side? I think I picked it up even at fucking
never could find it.
Meyer.
Yep, never could find it.
Picked up a lot of my Kiss stuff from Meyer back in the day.
I stole.
Especially all that earlier stuff, the cassette stuff.
Yeah, I
Don't admit to crime on tape,
uh
dude.
statute of limitations and whatnots. Schottensteins. They had that whole tape rack, and I picked up Destroyer, Dress to Kill, Hotter than Hell. I picked up all the early stuff on
Yep.
cassette
Same.
from there. Yep.
Same from Meyer, dude. I picked up one or Kiss, Hot in the Shade, Hotter than Hell. I picked everything all the way up to Unmasked, and
Hmm.
probably picked up a few of other things afterwards, dude.
Yep. I actually remember in the City Center Mall, I picked up Ace Frehley's Trouble Walking cassette at the Dollar Tree. It was $1. That and Jimmy Page's Outrider.
That's a steal. That's a steal, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Trouble Walking as an album for a buck is a steal. Every track on that album was fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably one of my favorite Ace albums. It's a fun album.
I'd agree with you.
Cool, cool.
Yeah.
So other than that, man, let's get down to business. We've yapped it up here for a second. Sorry to go taking a trip down memory lane for you guys, but this is a little bit of our childhood and what got us into music as children. Bruce, I know that you and I got together this last weekend
Uh-huh.
and you came up, gave mom a hand around the house, and then come up and stayed the night with me. We woke up the next day and went out to Used Kids. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I've been listening to this week.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what I ain't been fucking listening to. I ain't been fucking listening to this. All right. I bought this for about 25 damn bucks. And I can tell you this album is warped to shit and back. And I am very upset by that whole buying experience. But I can't blame the store. The store, it's unopened. You know what I mean? So they don't know that it's fucking warped. But I think I'm going to figure out how to get it unwarped somehow, best I can. This is my favorite Danzig album.
Which one is that? Danzig 2,
Danzig,
Lucifuge,
Danzig 2, Lucifuge.
and Lucifuge. Yeah, if anyone has any tips for Tone over there to unwarp an album, hit him up, hit us up, let us know.
Good deal. However, I have been able to listen to this, and this is the orchestra style album that he did back in the 90s, I want to say. And I will be honest with you, this is one of my favorite albums of all time. I actually love this album. I really think it showed a side of his, writing ability. I don't know that anybody really understands what it takes to sit down and write a tune, but for what he created on this was pretty fucking amazing for some guy who's, punk metal and rooted in a darker side of music. This is a
Mhm.
very darker style orchestra, but it's fucking amazing, absolutely fucking amazing. And the artwork on the album alone is worth the price of admission.
What
Love this
is
thing.
what's the name of that album?
I don't know if I've always pronounced it as Black Aria, but I think some people pronounce it as Black Aria.
Yep, it's Aria. Uh-huh.
uh,
Okay.
which basically terms to dark opera.
Hmm.
So, yeah, been listening to that. Been listening to the what's in the record player right now is Heavy Temple's Garden of Heathens. I decided to crack that open and listen to it. I listened to the first side, and what else have I been listening to this week? I think that's about it, man. I've actually just been
Cool.
checking out some of the albums this week. So,
Yeah,
how
awesome.
about you?
Well, I'll tell you what I picked up. Um, we reviewed this album. I can't remember if it was this season or last season, but this is a new kind of reissued version of Shooter Jennings and Hierophant, the album Black Ribbons. This dystopian rock opera with Stephen King as a radio DJ. Very out of left field for Shooter at that time. So I won't
Now,
get
now,
in.
when you were at the record store this week
Uh-huh,
with me,
uh-huh.
were you actually looking for that?
Kinda. I've been keeping an eye on it. Like I know it's there, but I'm like, I'll wait. But anyway, so here's just one of the covers of the album. It's a 2 LP plus 2 CDs. Um, and let's see.
You know what? I know what
Hmm.
episode you're talking about.
Do
That
you?
episode, we reviewed that album and Dr. Hook Sloppy Seconds
Ah,
because it
that's
was
funny.
Brass Ribbons and Sloppy Seconds
That's
episode.
awesome. Yeah.
You know why? You
Um,
know how I know that? I
mm,
I also used that title for a Nomad song.
see shooters everywhere. It's one of my favorite Shooter Jennings albums. It is not country, and it's just fun. Here's the big thing that I just picked up today. Super stoked about this. I got a call from one of my buddies. Says, "Hey man, you got to come down here. You got to check this out. You'll never believe this." I said, "Okay." He said, "We've got the first pressing of Hotter Than Hell in damn near mint condition."
Wow. Wow.
And
That looks immaculate, dude.
it's amazing. And then here's the original Casablanca
Casablanca
logo.
label, yeah.
Yep. Beautiful record. And what's also cool, the collector, the guy that had these records, he wrote on the sleeves when he bought them. So he bought this record October 6th, 1975. So just a little piece of coolness.
Mind if I ask a question?
Yeah.
Did you pay a premium for that?
I paid a very reasonable price for it. Very reasonable.
And what was reasonable?
60.
Oh man.
There are on Discogs there are versions of this that go for $200.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, just beautiful. I got a little wear right here, but and I've also got the 2014 reissue that they did of this. I mean, it matches right up to it. Like we were talking, I think off air about the Ace Frehley reissues that Friday Music did and how they just fuck them all up, minus the vinyl, the actual vinyl piece. The color schemes, the everything matches, everything looks great as compared to the original. So super stoked about this, and that is going up on that wall.
That's dope, dude.
Yeah,
I'm very happy for you. I know that had to be a big. Did he have anything else?
there was an original pressing of Dress to Kill, but I already have that, so
Was there anything else?
not that I seen.
Not that your buddy told you about?
Right, there could be other things, but
They're not ready yet.
they're not ready.
It's dope, dude.
Got to process.
Do you have an original pressing of Love Gun?
No, the only way that I would get that I've got a version of Love Gun. I've got a pressing of Love Gun. The only way that I would spend any kind of money on like an original Love Gun is if it actually had all the extra pieces. So an uncapped or an unshot Love Gun, the merch label, and all that stuff. That's the only
Really?
way I would really buy another one.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
So, and then I've got the other holy grail of mine. I've got the first pressing of the first Kiss album without Kissin' Time. So it's like the first batch. Because
Really?
Kissin' Time was like the second batch.
Did you pay a premium for that one?
No, I'm not going to tell you how much I got that for, but
Why?
because
Was it cheap?
it was more than fair, more than reasonable.
Hmm. And where'd you land that at?
I can't remember. Can't remember. Anyway, so yeah, my Kiss hoarding is getting slowly back into full swing.
Uh, yeah. We all grow up from music one day.
Uh-huh.
Some of us takes a little longer than others.
But that's it. That's what I've been listening to.
Good deal, good deal. Let's talk about some things I saw, man. So I just like to
Yeah.
mention, see the Conan hat tonight. Those guys have announced that they are releasing a new album. It comes out on April 20th. 4/20 of 2025. This album is called Violence Dimension. I'm very much so looking forward to that. Of the things that I know that are coming out this year, this is probably going to be one of my most anticipated releases. I love everything that this band does. You see me often wear a couple different hats, my Conan shirt here and there. Probably going to order a new Conan shirt. Speaking of shirts, picked up the new Fire Breather to do with the bat on it today. Finally came in today. I'm actually kind of glad we delayed the shooting of the show just so I could get to wear the shirt. I didn't know when it was going to be in.
There you go.
So very happy with that. But I also saw a very unfortunate thing because I never got to see these guys live. Orange Goblin looks like they're going to be calling it quits after about 20 years. So that's a big bummer for me. I think Bruce and I saw that John Sykes had passed away. I
Hmm.
think he was with Blue Murder. He was
Thin Lizzy.
Thin Lizzy. Who else was he with? I mean, I know he had played with a few different. He did a few different stints with a few different people, man, and he's a well-known, well-respected guitar player. It's unfortunate to hear of his passing.
Yeah.
And you said there was somebody else that had just recently passed as
Yeah,
well.
Garth Hudson from the band. He was the
Yeah.
last. He was the last surviving member of the band. He was their keyboard guy, organ, accordion, saxophone. Um, so huge loss because the band was one of those bands that were just timeless and so influential. Uh, they were the band that all the musicians love to hear.
I have a question for you.
Hmm.
Have you ever seen the Columbus Tribute here at the Newport Music Hall? They usually do it once a year for the band's last waltz.
Uh-uh.
So I took my dad because he and I are both big band, members. We're big fans
Hmm.
of the band. And let me tell you something, dude. They did nothing but justice. And I watched my old man get up and rock to some of his favorite fucking tunes of all time live. He
Yeah.
loved the whole experience. You couldn't keep him seated. This man has had 6 total fucking hip replacements, and he was out of his fucking seat in the fucking handicap aisle, losing his shit. And you've been to a concert with Dad, I'm sure. You've had to have been to a show with Dad at one point in time. You know what?
Yeah.
Cheap Trick. Cheap
Oh,
Trick,
okay.
the Wing Zing. I'm pretty sure he
Yeah.
was at the Wing Zing with us and shit. And fucking man, dude, I'll tell you what, when that old man gets down, he gets down. But I saw a happy motherfucker that night, and I'll tell you, they did a really good job. If it's to be something you'd entertain, man, I don't know that I could get Kate to go back, and I know with Dad's back being the way that it is, if it comes around again this year, it would be something you'd come up and visit to come see,
Yeah.
just to see the last waltz done live. Dude, they killed it, dude. They do a fantastic fucking job, dude. And it's some of Columbus and surrounding Columbus area musicians
Hmm.
that are fucking just doing it. Yeah,
Awesome.
I'll look into that, man. But other than that, I don't think we have anything much more. So
No
that is the news.
word.
And before we get started on these reviews, why don't we review some brews?
Yeah, let's wet our whistles here.
What are you having this evening?
Well, you're gonna have to help me out on this because I don't remember all the details on it. But I am drinking a Coke with the Jack Daniels Bonded. Tell the people about Jack Daniels Bonded because I don't remember.
All right. So with that being said there, sir, can I ask, do you see the bottle in front of you?
It's way over there.
Okay. Is it a black or red label?
Uh, it is a black label with
So it looks,
gold lettering.
yeah. So it looks like the regular
Yeah.
Jack Daniels, but okay. So because there's 2 of them that came around, and I can't remember exactly what the deal is with the second one right offhand, because the red label was a little bit different. But I've had both, and I love both. Excuse me. Anyways, Jack Bonded is a Tennessee whiskey. It's not considered a Kentucky bourbon, obviously. Um, but it's a Tennessee whiskey. And being that it's bonded means that it's held in a federally bonded warehouse where it stays for the duration of its distilling process or its fermentation process and whatnot. And when
Oh
when
yeah.
um when it's bottled, it has to bottle at 100 proof. Okay. And that's the thing about being bonded. It is held to the highest standard of whiskey slash bourbon in the United States as a standard. Um, and a lot of times a bonded bourbon is one of the best representations of a bourbon that you can have. If you've never had the Jim Beam bonded, or you can't, and I don't know if they're making it anymore right now, it is absolutely hands down one of my absolute favorite bottles of bourbon. Um, but I also like Jim Beam. Give me a second.
Yeah, I picked this thing up a little while ago, and I don't break it out too often because I'm not a huge Jack fan. But it just sounded good for today.
It's a good Jack. I mean, like, so by way of comparison, when
Mm-hmm.
you go on to a Carnival cruise,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they have cruise specific bottles. And the first time I had any Jack Daniels that was 100 proof, it was off a Carnival cruise, and we brought two bottles back home. As a matter of fact, if you can't see it back there, but the lamp that's back there is the 100 proof,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not a bonded bottle.
Gotcha.
Okay, it wasn't. It just bottled at 100 proof. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't held to the standard of being bonded or whatever. But it was a great bottle. 100 proof is where I usually like roughly about where I like my whiskeys. So I mean, eh, anything you get up past 110, man, gets a little too. It's a little too hot, man, for me.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of it. I've drinking some shit that's like 126. Larceny
Yeah.
Barrel Proof, I think the one that I had was ringing in at 126, and it was hot, but like it tasted sweet on the lips coming in, but that back end was just pure fucking welcome to the fuck shop, son.
Ta-
So yeah, that's Jim Beam or Jack Daniel's bonded, man.
yeah.
Uh, killer fucking taste. What are you giving it?
4.5. I really like it.
Did you shoot it straight?
No,
You like it in your drink as a 4.5?
correct.
Okay, good.
What about
Me,
you?
I've probably had this on the show before. This is the Rheingeist Truth. This is pretty much the standard from Rheingeist. A lot of guys show up with 6 packs of this at the get-togethers and stuff and whatnot. A few guys left a couple here probably a little while ago, so I'm just trying to clear out the refrigerator. And I like Rheingeist products, a lot of their products, a lot. As far as the local based breweries in Ohio, I do like them and Great Lakes, and Great Lakes is in Cleveland. Rheingeist is in Cincinnati. I think they're great representation of great beers. This for me, I give it 4.5 too, man.
Yeah.
It's not a perfect beer. It's just a solid IPA, man. It's a not my favorite of the Truth lineup, but it is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I think I like the Juicy Truth just a little bit better.
Juicy truth.
That's exactly why. Juicy Truth, it's gonna move you.
I love it.
All right. With that being said, we
Yeah.
have tasted some drinks, done some news, and now I think it's time for us to get into some reviews.
Yes, sir.
Bruce, who goes first this week? Because we did a lot last week.
Yeah. If you want, are you itching to get to yours?
I'm not in a hurry. I'm good.
Okay. And then I'll go ahead and do mine. So
All right.
you gave me Early Moods, A Sinner's Past. This was their sophomore album, that they just released March of 2024.
Is it their
So,
sophomore or is it their junior?
sophomore.
Because I thought they had 3 albums out.
According to their website, it was sophomore. So
Okay.
I could be wrong. I don't know. Anyway, um, this is your standard Doom stuff. Now, before I get into mine, Tony, if I remember right, you were saying that this is like one of your top albums. Like, what drew you to this album?
Dude, this should have been in my honorable mentions at least for last year's album releases. I feel bad that I didn't do it. I saw these guys; they really kicked my ass, and it was the first time personally that I saw like a Doom style band using Stratocaster, and I thought, man, and I know my guys I was with at the time, we thought it was phenomenal. We thought they sounded phenomenal. Their singer had great presence, and they really kind of they made sense to be on tour with Conan and whatnot, or being open in the show for Conan. They were just a great band and all around good vocals, great guitar work, great drum work. There's really good players in the band. The riffs are really, really, really nice. The songs flow really, really, really nice. They kind of remind you of you know, who is it? I want to say like maybe some pentagram stuff, maybe some cathedral stuff, or Trouble or something like that. Uh, and Trouble's actually getting ready to come to Columbus here soon. Um, that's probably going to be the first show I go see. But these guys remind me of that side of Doom, like Saint Vitus and 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 in some respects that way. It's not your typical um the voice is laid back in the cut of the music. It's really the voice here is prominent as
Mhm.
opposed to a lot of some of the Doom stuff that's out there.
Yeah.
um it's not really a rough vocal. There's not really a lot of growling and stuff going on there. Dude, I think I've said this on the previous show. I should have picked up the album.
Yeah.
I should have had him sign it. I should have picked up a t-shirt or something if they had it available. I should have.
Okay.
And I dig these guys. I dig these guys a lot. I'll be following these guys as long as they're active. So
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna get into mine. Um, First track on this album is called Last Hour. It's a good riff. To your point, it was some very clear vocals, which, with this genre of music, it's hit or miss. So the vocals that was a pleasant surprise. Um, the the song wasn't overly interesting until about the 250 mark, where it speeds up, changes its vibe. The vocals were still kind of weak to me, but the riff was better. You know, it was. It, I'm going to say this a lot through this album. This album felt disjointed to me.
okay,
I ended up giving this a B. It's not skippable, but it wasn't like, oh wow, this is amazing.
okay,
Next up, Blood Offerings. This is a Sabbath-like tune. Um, about at the 3 minute mark. What the fuck is up with those quote unquote evil vocals? It was like a bad pro wrestler vibe where he's trying to cut a promo. I didn't. I, I like the riff on it, but it nothing that caught me. I gave it a B. I wouldn't skip most of it.
oh man,
Let's see. But seriously, do you know what I'm talking about? At that 3 minute mark, he
I know
goes,
I know what you're talking about there. Yeah, go ahead. I thought it was a cool interlude, but go ahead.
okay. Next up, a sinner's. The hell is that?
The
Sinner's
Sinner's
Past.
Pass,
Yeah, because
the
that's the
title
name
track.
of the. Yeah. Keep up, folks. Um, It's cool riff to start. Vocals sound like he's in a different room. They were very distant.
Like some
Like,
reverb on them.
yeah, very distant. Beyond the riff, the song doesn't get with me until about the 4 minute mark. Again, it speeds up. It's that really cool galloping riff. Um, cool bass coming through on this song, especially. Um, so this was definitely um, a better a better offering for me. I gave it a B plus. You know, again, wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible. Just there's something missing. Uh, let's see. Next up is Wall. I'm gonna screw this up. Walpurgis.
Walpurgis.
Yeah, Walpurgis. See, this is a really good riff. The vocal melody, like the phrasing and stuff, is not good. It's a very Iommi like solo, um, and it's nice and extended. I really enjoyed the solo towards the end of this song. I actually gave this song an A. Just that guitar saved it. I mean, it was really good. Really cool guitar work on there. Next up is the Apparition. Standard Doom riff, slow and chunky. I did like the nice original solo. Nothing other than the solo really stood out to me. I gave it a B. Um, Next was Unhinged Spirit. Starts with some nice acoustic work, decent riff. Um, the the bass and the solo again, the solo guitar really stands out on this track. I gave it a B plus. And
Your bees are becoming boring.
not well. Listen, this is a boring album. Then next is Hell's Odyssey. It's 8 minutes and 22 seconds long. This is another Sabbath type song. This could have fit on Masters of Reality, no problem. Um, the vocals, he tried to sound more like Ozzy on this for some reason. The riff was very Sabbathy. It's very driving. I really dug it. I gave it an A plus. Almost my favorite song on the album. But my favorite song on the album is the last song, Soul Sorcery. Good closer. Wish the album was more like this. There was 3 tempo changes. Still, um, it felt this actually felt coherent and it gelled.
Okay.
This song in particular. Um, all in all, I think this is an average Doom album.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to sound too much like other people. And I think in the areas where they kind of veered off trying to establish their own sound, I think that's I think that's where they shined more. Um, I'm not going to listen to this thing again. It just did not connect with me at all.
Okay.
So that's why I asked you, like, okay, what about this album clicked with you?
I love it. The drums, the riffs, the vocals, the bass lines. I love it, dude. I
It
think
just
it's
seems
it
standard.
just it really jams. It's an album I can throw on and not at any point in time go, I need to skip this track. It's just to me they just kind of kick ass. There's great riff writing and stuff going on there.
It's,
And here's the thing. I
uh-huh.
know that I've dumped a lot of doom on you. Okay.
Hmm.
I know that. I know that. Okay. But I'm also, I've dumped some really cool, y- albums
Yeah,
on you that you've ended up liking. You like
yeah,
the Garden of Heathens and stuff like that.
yep.
And
This is
um,
not Garden of Heathens. This
no,
is
no.
nowhere close to it.
I don't know, dude. I think the musicianship is really there, man. I don't know what you're missing there, to be honest with you. For me, I just feel like there's some great musicianship going on there, dude, and I absolutely love it. And I went right out off this album and went and picked up everything they had left on or had on Bandcamp.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't regret it because I've been jamming those dudes for the last couple of weeks, and I really, really dig them. And
Yeah.
but it's different strokes for different folks. We're not going to agree on everything,
Oh,
dude.
I know.
We're not even going to come close on everything all the time, and it happens. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But there is certain aspects of the Doom world that you like. You like a lot of the psychedelic or shit that has a little more faster pace. And that's what I was kind of throwing this your way is that there was the changes, there was something a little more fast paced,
Hmm.
there was some tasty riffage going on here, and there was some clean vocals. So I threw it out there as a fucking softball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hoping that it would, hoping that it would stick with you. But obviously, that's cool. It
It,
doesn't.
it was just average. It just felt average.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially some of the other stuff you given me. This doesn't hold a candle to it.
Yeah.
It's fine. So,
No,
my
I understand that, dude. But here's the thing: in due time, you're going to get more doom from me, and dude, I'm gonna dump some bands on you that are going to be long. It's going to be droning. You're not going to hear the vocals as well. You're gonna honestly, I think you should check out how fucking cool that Electric Wizard recent release was. You know what I mean? Maybe the music don't quite do it for you, but the whole concept of that was a board recording from a live show.
yeah.
Skip all the live sounds added in and all the people cheering and
Hey,
all the bullshit. This was a board recording, and that's pretty fucking cool, man. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Getting to hear everything that they do as they do it live.
Hmm.
Fucking dope, dude. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, what are you giving her, man?
7.
She's a 7. She's an average album. I get that. And you said it was an average album, and I feel like that. Me personally, I give that album an 8.75.
Woo.
She's got tasty riffage, and do I think that she's a perfect album? I understand how you can feel certain parts of it can feel disjointed and stuff like that. Is it my perfect Doom album? Is it my perfect album in that style or range of that genre? No, but it's a great album to me, So,
Yeah.
and then at 8.75, you know me, anything over 8, I'm gonna check more of out.
Yep.
And if I like it enough, if it's close enough to a 9, I went straight out and got their discography. These
Hmm.
guys put out a fucking solid 9, 10 album for me with Dwell in the Fog. So I went back and picked up the whole damn discography, which wasn't much, but anything they're throwing down, I'm picking up because I love them. I want to support these guys because I want them to come out and tour and do shows. And, if they've got revenue coming in, they can do that. You know what I
Yep.
mean? These guys aren't playing. And that's the one thing I love about this genre, dude. I'm not in a situation where I'm trying to go see these dudes at massive situations. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Big festival shows or sitting at the fucking Mershon Auditorium or something like that. I'm getting to see these guys in, smaller 100, 200, 350 feet people clubs, having an experience hanging out with them outside and shit and whatnot. You know what I mean? I remember when I want to say it was Yob or Elder came into town, dude. Ace of Cups oversold that place.
Mm.
I couldn't even see the fucking stage. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So and it's cool to have those kind of experiences for me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hate the whole going to like the only reason I'm going to Sonic Temple is because or the main reason is to see fucking Acid Bath. I want to see Acid Bath. I don't know if they're going to do a major tour afterwards. I've never been to Sonic Temple. This will probably be the only time I go. I get 2 nights of Metallica,
Oh,
you know.
they're going to change the setup.
Well, here's the
That's
thing.
that's one of the things I love about them. They are not afraid to mix it up.
Well, the cool thing is there's no repeat weekend with Metallica
Yeah.
on I think on Friday and on Sunday.
Hmm.
They're not going to do the same any same set any part of the same set.
I love that.
Well, dude, it's going to be nice, but as far as them doing that, that's fine and dandy and all, but there's a lot of shit that I don't want to fucking hear.
Yep.
I don't want to hear shit off of Load, Reload, and everything afterwards. I'd be open to hearing some of the stuff off the recent album because the recent album was pretty fucking solid.
Hmm.
But it's taken like I don't know, man. I'm like, there's a couple people, there's two type of people in the world when it comes to Metallica fans. There are those that felt betrayed after the Black Album or around that time
Mm,
when Load and Reload fucking hit. And there are some that just continued to stay fans. I felt betrayed.
yeah. Oh well.
But I'm looking forward to seeing them. I've never gotten to see them. I should have seen them when everybody else did back in fucking like 94 when
Yep.
Metallica, Danzig, and fucking Suicidal
Suicidal.
came through. That was my top three bands at the time.
That was a great show.
Yeah. What a fucking tour.
Hmm.
What a fucking tour, dude.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
For a
That's a
while.
fucking dope ass fucking lineup, man.
I know. I was there.
I know, fuck you.
Ah.
But a 7 for that album.
Yeah.
All right, Bruce, you
Yeah.
gave me Joey Ramone.
Hmm.
Don't worry about me. I believe this album came out in 91
Nope. 2002.
or 2000. Okay, 2002.
He died in '01.
Okay, so I would have seen him at the Claremont Steakhouse sometime between 92 and 94.
Okay.
Okay, and I don't know exactly when the Ramones ended. Okay, but this album, he died in 2001, and this album was released like 8 months later.
Hmm.
Okay, posthumously, obviously.
Hmm.
Um, this to me, I want to get into that, but I want to say my opening things on this first. Classic punk style album. There's a couple great covers on here, and it's loaded with great musicians. The people that he worked with on this album are all great freaking musicians, and I would learn that uh, John Bavo or whatever his name is. I can't remember the name right there. Bovair from the Plasmatics. Are you with me? All right. It looks like we may have lost Bruce, so he'll probably come back. With that being said, until he comes back, I would just like to say thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of you watching. And we look forward to your comments, likes, subscriptions. Please subscribe if you like what you see here. We are on all of your podcast streaming services. Feel free to check us out there if you can't catch us here on YouTube. Also, please, leave us a comment. Ask us to review an album for you. We'd love to review an album for anybody. That's what we're kind of in the fun of this for, to interact with you guys. We want to continue to hear your suggestions or your experiences with some of these bands and albums that we've reviewed. So please like, comment, subscribe, and share. As soon as Bruce gets back here, I'll go ahead and get started on this Joey Ramone Don't Worry About Me album that he has given me. He should be returning here very shortly. So we'll keep it going. For those out there watching, let us know what you're listening to. Please share that with us. We love to hear what's spinning in your ears. You know, other than that, we're just going to keep on reviewing what we give back and forth to each other, and it's a lot more interesting when we get folks that want to share their music experiences with us as well. It's easy for us to share our music experiences with you, but we want to share our your music experiences as well. So once again, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share these videos with your friends and family. If you know that they're into an album that we reviewed, show it to them. Say, hey, these are these guys' thoughts on the album. But we appreciate you. And with that being said, I'm going to move on to my review of "Don't
There you
Worry
go.
About Me" from Joey Ramone. So classic punk rock, punk style album. Couple great covers on here, loaded with great musicians. Track number 1, "What a Wonderful World." Let me say something about that song. When I hear this song, including this version, I think about being at Niagara Falls, down on the fucking Maid of the Mist, in the boat, getting splashed by the falls, looking at just the majesticness of the Niagara Falls, man. It's just something beautiful. And I was on there with my wife and shared a kiss under the falls. And all I can think about at that time was what a wonderful world,
Yeah.
you know? And this song is, I'm very familiar with it. I saw that somebody had I'm going to steal a comment that I saw on Facebook or no, on YouTube when I was watching this. It is basically a legend covering a legend.
Hmm.
So this gets an A plus from me, and it gets an asterisk beside it because it's such a fucking great song. Track number 2, Stop Thinking About It. This gets an A as well. A great tune. I love the chorus on this. Very, very reminiscent of, Ramone style punk, man. It's hard not to do that without, with Joey's. It's hard not to experience what you feel as far as the Ramones goes, just listening to Joey's vocal style. And,
Hmm.
uh, you can lay down a punk riff, but you put Joey's vocals of it, it's still going to sound, very similar to a Ramones tune for me.
Yeah.
Love the track. Thought this was a great track. Stop thinking about it. Absolutely love the chorus. Once again, kind of a standard punk song, but I gave it an A. Track number 3, Mr. Punchy. Um, I gave this one a B, man. Uh,
Oh,
killer, killer drums. Uh, but overall, the track for a punk track, it's just not one that gets my motor running, man. Um, and to be honest with you, I would probably skip this track.
oh, oh, that hurts my heart. I've been singing that song all damn day.
It's listen. It's a B because it's a good song.
Mhm.
Is it a song that I want to listen to? Not particularly. I have
Yeah.
nothing against the song. It's just not one that's a favorite of mine on this album. Track number 4, Maria Baratiromo, I believe that is.
Bartaroma.
Uh, this gets an A. Very mellow kind of punk tribute here to I think a TV personality back in the day. She's
Yeah,
still
Fox
somewhat
News.
active. She's still somewhat active in
Yeah.
political stuff here, whatnot. Pretty young lady from what I saw back in the day, and still very attractive today. So I guess her and Joey were friends at that point in time, and I think it's a very fitting, cool tribute to a chick, So it got an A from me. Track number 5, Spirit in My House. I gave this one a B as well.
Mm.
Love the riff. Not a fan of the chorus. It was. It
Mm.
was kind of. It just didn't sit with me well for some reason. The chorus just kind of didn't. It didn't resonate with me.
Yeah.
Um, but okay, punk tune. Is it skippable? Honestly, dude, you don't hear me say this that often, but I would probably skip this track on the album.
Wow.
Um, it's not bad enough that it's a C. There's a possibility I'll let it spin, but most likely I would probably be skipping it to get to track number 6.
Mm.
Track number 6, Venting. It's a Different World Today. I gave this an A plus. Very relevant to today's society, and even then, the 80s was different than the 70s. You know what I mean? So it's a very relevant song, and I think anybody could take this song and cover it, and it would mean something in the standard of the world you live in it at just about any time. It's a
Yep.
fantastic, fantastic fucking song. Track number 7, Like a Drug I Never Did Before.
Ah.
Um, I gave this one an A as well. And for me personally, this kind of felt like a Stooges song, which is funny
Mm.
because I know that Joey was a fan. From what I've read, Joey was a fan of the Stooges. So flattery or imitation being
Best form of flattery.
Best form of flattery. This kind of had that feel, and it was really, really good fucking tune, man. Like I did dig this tune, so I gave it an A. Um, but it really felt Stooges like. Track number 8, Searching for Something. I gave this one a B. Once again, another punk style tune. Good song, but it just didn't resonate, man. I don't know what it is with these Bs, that there was just something that, you know, oftentimes with albums, you'll find that you like a lot of what's going on there because of the style of music and stuff and whatnot. But sometimes they just they don't stand out as much as the other tracks on the album. And once again, this is another B, dude. And it's not like it's a C, like this is a trash song. I could pick it apart and rip it to hell and back. No, it's nothing like that. It's a good song. It just didn't resonate with me. I could see how it could resonate with somebody else, but it didn't with me. And that's okay. Track number 9, I Get Knocked Down, but I'll Get Up Again, I believe it is. I get knocked down, but I'll get up. This is another A fucking plus. Um, this track is probably, in my personal opinion, one of the most personal tracks on this album. And this track would kind of put the stamp on, you could almost feel like it's leading up to towards the end of this album. You know, Joey knows his time is short.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like Joey
Yeah.
knows his mortality may be coming to a close. And I'm going to share something about that here in a second. Okay. Um, it felt very deep. It felt very personal, and like it's probably one of the realest things I've ever listened to Joey Ramone ever sing or say on. And it was very, very, very heartfelt to me. I love the track. Absolutely love the track. Track number 10, 1969. This is a great cover of a killer tune by the classic punk fucking Stooges, man. This is a Stooges cover. And what was really cool to find out about this album was that a couple Misfits lineup from the 90s, Dr. Chud and Joey or Jerry Only, worked on this track or appeared on this track. And Killer Track gave that an A as well. He utilized a lot of great musicians on this album. I can't name everybody. We know that this album was given to you by our good friend over at the Dictators, Andy Chernoff, and he was on this album. I think he did a lot of bass work on this album for this album, and a lot of the original tunes here. So I thought that was really, really fucking cool. The last track would be the title track, Don't Worry About Me. I gave this an A as well. It was a great closer. Obviously the title track. That would be the stamp. If I get knocked down, but I'll get up is the letter, then the stamp is don't worry about me.
Yeah.
In regards to like this would be like foreshadowing. And I want to say I'm on my closing notes on this real quick. This is a not so much in your face punk album. It felt more like a love letter to music from a guy who loved music, and it was also very foreshadowing. This is how that album made me feel. When we listen to Don't Worry About Me and I Get Knocked Down, it reminds me of a story in regards to Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury went into the studio knowing he was dying of AIDS. And they went in to record my personal favorite song, and it's because of this story that it's my favorite fucking song by Queen. They went in to record The Show Must Go On. To hear Brian May tell the story, and you can look this up, his body was ravaged. He knew he was dying from the AIDS virus. But he went in, took the microphone, downed a measure of fucking vodka, and said, let's do the fucking song. And he did that vocal in one fucking take. When you listen to The Show Must Go On, it is a very foreshadowing song in regards to what maybe, Freddie Mercury's feelings may have been during the time of what was going on with his life and knowing he was passing away. And you listen to that song and you realize that vocal was done in one fucking take.
That's amazing.
It's fucking mind blowing.
Yep.
To listen to this album and the foreshadowing that I feel is very foreshadowing, like that Queen song, The Show Must Go On. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate that I don't think there are really maybe one surviving member, maybe two of the Ramones left, tops.
Yeah, I think you're right. Marky's still around.
Marky may be around. I think Dee Dee may be around, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, and I can't be for sure. No disrespect to anybody that may or may not be, but there's not anything left. I was like, I wondered if Joey Ramone even had any children, and I looked that up, and he didn't have any kids, man.
Yeah.
You'll never hear that voice again.
Yeah.
Not like the closeness of what Jacob Noel does for his dad from Sublime.
Yeah.
So with that being said, man, this was a really good album. I haven't given my personal rating on it yet. Out of 11 songs, there were, I think, 1, 2, 3 Bs. There was some A pluses in there. Killer stuff going on here. As an overall, and I'm kind of biased because I do love the Ramones and I do love Joey Ramone. I love him as a vocalist. I mean, I think he's just has one of the most unique DNAs, there's vocal DNAs that's out there. I want to give this album and it's the A pluses that save it. I'm giving this album a 9. A solid
That's
9.
about where I'd put it.
Yeah, it's a solid 9, dude. It's a great album.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wish there was more solo stuff. But there wasn't.
There's nothing. This is it.
Yeah.
This is it. This is what you got. And it's very unfortunate. It's very sad. I hate to end the show on a sad note, so let's not do that.
Yeah.
With that being said, Bruce, you gave yours a 7. I gave mine a 9. Thank you all for tuning in and watching. We appreciate you. Once again, like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your grandmother, tell your nephew, tell the little babies, throw us in their ear, man. We've got pretty cool and soothing voices for them to listen to. We're not doing anything too wild over here. Bruce, it's album time, brother.
It is.
We ain't got any interviews coming up too soon, do we?
Well, I'm waiting on you.
We'll discuss that.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, we'll discuss that.
Fucking, you're always you.
It's always me. Go ahead.
I am giving you this Joey Ramone album. In a way, reminded me of this album, and this is one of my favorite albums, period, of all time. And I'm giving you Warren Zevon's "The Wind."
All right. How's about that? Just run around and do whatever you want. Talk about just giving whatever you want to give people. Tired of listening to it. man.
Ah,
You're always trying to give me some bullshit, man. I can't do it, man. I can't do it, man. I can't do it.
not gonna die.
Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it there, brother. All right. What are we giving Bruce this week? I wasn't prepared for this. My apologies. I actually
You
have to
know,
look
it's
something up.
like we do this every week.
I know, dude, but I promised you I wasn't giving you any doom this week. So I'm not giving you any doom this week.
I'll take whatever miracle I can get.
Sir, I am done playing your shenanigans. They are starting to wear old on my nerves.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you understand what the words that are coming out of my mouth?
You're terrible at stalling. Just pick an album.
I am not.
Just pick a
Dude,
damn
do you
album.
realize how many albums I got on my shit?
Yeah, and unfortunately, 99.3% of it's doom.
No, 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 sir. You got the wrong fucking one. No, 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 sir. I've got something for you. Just hang tight. I got something fucking wonderful for you. All right. We're going to take you back. I want to give you something really fucking cool. I am going to give you, lo and behold, you know what? I want to hear your review of Marilyn Manson's newest album.
Okay.
Chuck mentioned that in his top, and I actually took the time to listen to that, and I think you should check it out too.
Okay.
What was the name of that? Give me a second.
I can find it.
No, because our listeners need to know too. So, what is the name of that fucking new album? It is One Assassination Under God, Chapter 1.
Oh.
Yeah, I want to get your opinion on that, man. I can tell you that I listened to it, and I wouldn't disagree with Chuck for it being a great album for the year.
Okay.
So
sweet. I'm looking
Warren
forward
G
to
on
it.
the Wind. Hell yeah. All right, guys, we want to thank you all for fucking tuning in. I was like, where did that come from? We want to thank you guys all for tuning in, man. Thanks
I
again
love
for
it.
keeping an eye out on us. And you know, wherever you are out there, we understand down there in the South, you were dealing with some snow like you've never seen before.
Yeah, it sucks.
Welcome to our world, even if it is for a little while. It does suck. Just be careful driving out there. Take care and check on your neighbors that can't get in and out of their places. Take care of your neighbors through this. That's one thing I can tell you. It's very unfortunate to find people who couldn't get out and take care of themselves. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying you guys got it that bad, but you guys did get it pretty rough. I think somewhere in Florida they saw 7 inches and it was still blizzarding.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we apologize for our weather. We didn't do this though. With that being said, Bruce, you got any last words for us for this evening?
Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we hope to see you next week.
We will see you next week. Bruce, you try to get better between now and then. Once again, I'm Tone.
I'm Bruce.
We're hooked on Sonics, and we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.